Hey, good evening, everybody. How you doing there? There's the Carbide Carbon building here, Michigan Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. Yeah, we got about 27 degrees. What's that? -3 Celsius. We've got 5:17 in the PM. I couldn't get out of work. Here's the Sweetwater. I remember when that was a Finnegan. Everything used to be something else. The Pendry used to be St. Jane, and before that it was the Hard Rock Hotel. And before that, when I moved to Chicago in 1999, this building was vacant. The entire building, the Carbide and Carbon building, was vacant. We were very happy when it became the Hard Rock Hotel, but even that didn't last. And Virgin Hotel is now the Sports Illustrated Hotel. Yeah. Hey, let me turn on the comments here. Hey, Sabrina Suburban Garden there, Grandma's Corner. How you doing? Leslie Hurley. Yeah. How you doing there? 3P&K. How you doing? How you doing? Nice to see you. Jeff. Yeah. Metallica fan. How you doing there? Mikanori. Stefan. Stephanie Phillips. I know you. Las Vegas. How you doing? How's it out in Vegas there? Fonsky. How you doing? Yeah. James. Thanks, Stephanie, Wes. Hey, you miss your city? Hey, Chicago misses you, but hey, Las Vegas isn't bad. And I'm sure the weather's a little better where you're at. Good evening. How you doing there, Wes? Alvin, how you doing there? Good evening. Yeah, thanks for saying hello. Hubert, how you doing? Doing good there. How you doing there? 3P&K, I know who you are. Here's hey, there's all the swag. Hello everybody, Angie Love, how you doing? So hey, let's I know we did it at lunchtime. Let's tootle down the Riverwalk just a little bit. It's because I got to get off of Michigan Avenue. We've been doing Michigan Avenue way too much because the lights are still on even February 3rd. You know, it's the day after Groundhog's Day. And hey, here's the Blackhawks, 333 North Michigan building. But yeah, I think if I rush, I can get across the street here, and we won't have to wait as long for the light here. Yeah, let's get across here. Make this FedEx truck wait. How you doing? Appreciate it. So here's the London Guarantee building, the Trump Tower, the second tallest building in Chicago. We'll cross here and we'll head down to the Riverwalk. Hey, there's the Wrigley and the Tribune and Intercontinental Hotel here, Wacker Drive, Michigan Avenue. 27 degrees Fahrenheit. Not too bad. Hey. Got 5:20 in the PM here, Chicago, Illinois. Heading home from work. So there's Wacker Drive, Loop of Chicago, Chicago Riverwalk. Hey, look at that amazing view, and then we'll show you the icebergs here. So we saw the Christopher Wheatley fireboat go straight through this. I haven't had a chance to cut out the footage because I actually was doing work this afternoon for my job. But here we'll head down to the Chicago River. There's Lower Wacker Drive. See the bus? There's some bus routes that actually use Lower Wacker Drive here, Chicago, Illinois. Remember the Blues Brothers? But here we'll head down. We'll show the ice here. We'll show this nice view to the Wrigley Tribune, Intercontinental Hotel. Here's the DeSable Michigan Avenue Bridge. See how it's double decked. There's the Trump Tower. Second tallest building in Chicago. If I don't show it, people will be like, show it. And I know we get reactions either way. You either love it or hate it. It's one of those things. But hey, look at the icebergs here, Chicago River. We got February the 3rd, 2026. 27 degrees Fahrenheit, -3 Celsius. 5:21 in the PM. But yeah, we'll cut out that footage from lunchtime there. I want to get the boat going through there. I didn't get the exact shot I wanted, but nobody's perfect here. Yeah, good evening. Addis, how you doing there? Yeah, KBA. Chicago's a cool city. Thanks for being so cool there. Yeah. And you, T.O.
Yeah.
Squishy. Squishy soft. Lindsay, how you doing? Dolores. Peter. Pete from Hazlet, Michigan's tuning in there. So you know where we're at. There's the Marina Towers. There's the Leo Burnett and R.R. Donnelly building. At least formally, that's what they were called. I know their names change. See, we got icebergs in the Chicago River. Ice in front of the Trump Tower. And here, there's still some Christmas lights. I have not seen the hot tub boat. Look at this little, there's a little miniature snow person there. Look at that little baby snow man or woman or whatever it is. Baby, snow baby. It's a snow baby. Those people were like, get out of my way. We got the whole sidewalk. Here's Wabash Avenue. Wabash Avenue with Marina Towers, Tron Goldberg's masterpiece. So I guess the ice is flowing a little bit more this way. Here's some last of the Christmas lights. Look at these little bulbs. Got the bulbs in the trees. Little bulbs. Yeah. They had a boat in Marina Towers. That's great. Hey, I bet that was nice. You knew somebody that had a boat in Marina Towers. What a great location. Yeah, get on that river, get out on that lake with that boat. Yeah, you can rent the hot tub boats there. I think at least you used to be able to. I guess they're still running it. And then they got electric boats. And then a lot of people, like you said, keep their boats right there that live in the Marina Towers. That's the best amenity if you can afford it. Look at that's the view back to the Wrigley building. So we'll cross the river. We'll start heading north. I'm just getting a little way, a little west of Michigan Avenue. And we'll zig and zag and end up in Lincoln Park because that's where I live. I'm walking home from work. We got to head 3 miles north. We'll be walking for probably almost until 7 o'clock here. So I got a late start. But better late than never. The Hancock. Hey, you got to spend time in the Hancock there. That's great. Your grandparents had a place in the Hancock. Yeah, Chris Farley used to live there. I bet they might have remembered when he used to live there, if they still lived there that long. You know, he passed away in the 1990s, but hey, Chris Farley was from Saturday Night Live. He was in a bunch of movies. He died too young, like Belushi. They were kind of similar in that way. Here's Jewelers Building, Chicago, Illinois. We're at State Street. They've been working on State Street, so it's still closed to pedestrians and vehicular traffic. But hey, look at that. Look at that dome. Look at that onion dome on top of the Intercontinental Hotel. Look at the smoke coming out of the smokestack. Wrigley Building. There's the old IBM Tower. Mies van der Rohe. Tron Goldberg. Marina Towers. Yeah, Chicago loves you. Toronto's usually a little colder. Toronto's up by Lake Erie. But Chicago and Toronto have pretty much the same weather. We're Great Lake cities. Toronto's not that much further north than Chicago. You know, the southern part of Ontario probably has the same climate as Michigan, or at least the Upper Peninsula. And Michigan can be more mild than Illinois sometimes because, at least the western side, the way the prevailing winds, that's why those fruit orchards up by Traverse City do so well. The lake kind of moderates the temperature relatively. It's still cold, but not as cold by a few degrees. Yeah, Alvin Johnson, one golden Nubian. Yeah, what happened, Alvin? Let's see, did I miss something here? Toronto colder. Where's Bob Newhart? Yeah. Oh, Alvin, thanks for the dough. Thanks for the gift. I really appreciate it, Alvin. Thanks everybody for gifts, likes and follows. I'm very humbled. Somebody at lunchtime gave me a really huge gift, and I was thankful. I read their little blurb. I appreciate them for tuning in, and thanks to you, Alvin. Alvin's been a friend and supporter here, supporting good programming for years, literally. You know, you've been a part of the Lunch Bunch and part of even the TikTok, and mainly here on YouTube. Alvin's great from Saskatchewan. Am I saying it right? I always say it wrong. Here's some people, I think they're jogging in shorts. So we got 27 degrees here in Chicago, February the 3rd. See, there's your hardy Chicagoans and Illini fans here jogging in shorts. How you doing? How you doing?
Steam showers in them.
That's good.
Do we do?
And there's the Marina Towers. See, there's where you can, there's the hot tub boats. So you can rent the hot tub boats right there. And that's where the person was talking about. Their grandparents had a place in Marina Towers. And they used to launch their boat right there. You see how you got boats? You can store your boat right in the marina, hence the name. Yeah. You don't miss the cold? Yeah, I know. Positive, negatives, everything. Yeah, so Chicago has long, cold, dreary winters. And most people that leave Chicago, it's because of the winter. Or the high taxes, or they don't like our politics. But besides that, people like Chicago in the summertime if they can afford it. And you can always come back and visit. Isn't that the nice thing? It's a pretty accessible city, easy to get to, and not too hard to travel to within the domestic continental United States. And we got an international airport too. Here's two international airports. What am I saying? So here's hey, we made it up to the top. Here's a nice view of the Chicago skyline. See, merchandise marts over in that way, the confluence. We're on Dearborn Street to 55. I guess that's 55 West Wacker. There's the Marina Towers. And here we'll cross the Chicago River. See, all the ice is over. It's all past Wabash going towards the lake. This part of the river doesn't freeze. We put antifreeze in it. But hey, look at that nice view of the skyline there where the river makes a bend here. Chicago, Illinois, Chicago River. There's the marina. Yeah, the valets actually ride up this crazy system where they catch on a cable and they go up through a hole between the floors. Very unique system. Hey, you could look, that's the 400 North Michigan right there. Or no, the 400 North Lakeshore, excuse me, the 400 North Lakeshore building. Look how you can see it going up there. That's all the way over by Lakeshore Drive. And we're at Dearborn by Legal Seafoods. And we'll go by the House of Blues. But hey, look how you can pull your boat right in there underneath the Marina Tower, Chicago, Illinois. Look at that, that's a nice view. Look how those little lily pad type balconies go around the whole thing there. And, here, the House of Blues, Chicago, Illinois. You can check out their website to see the upcoming shows. Sometimes we see people lined up over the bridge. Look at this thing. So, Chicago's first movable bridge was constructed at this site, 1834. The timber span provided only a 60-foot opening. It shows you how the river. It was before they dredged the river, and the river wasn't as wide at that time. So here, House of Blues. There it is. No, I didn't see the hot tub. I haven't seen the hot tub boat all year. Well, we saw it several times last year. Other people have saw it this year. I just miss it. And I don't know if no one can afford to use them anymore, or people got tired of it, or people saw what people did with that water and they hope they change it. Because there's water in the boat and there's water out of the boat. And here we'll go by Hotel Chicago. We're by the House of Blues here, Dearborn Street, Chicago, Illinois. We'll go right by Harry Carey's restaurant. And actually, I'm gonna run across the street here so I can show you what it looks like. You can actually see this building better. There's some bike path here. So there it is. We'll go right by it, Harry Carey's restaurant. You can actually cut over to Clark Street. There it is, Harry Carey's. Cousin lives in Chicago. Yeah, I'm rooting for the Seahawks. I'm rooting for the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. There's no way I can ever root for the Patriots. No offense to, it's not that I don't like Boston. I just never liked Tom Brady. And I never really liked Bill Belichick either. I saw how he was skipped over. Bill Belichick was skipped over in the Hall of Fame, wasn't it? Is that what happened? Here's Harry Carey's restaurant. Of course, Harry Carey was the announcer for the Cubs. Before that, he was the announcer for the White Sox. And before that, he was the announcer for the St. Louis Cardinals. People in St. Louis probably remember that if you're a certain vintage. There's Harry Carey's. And look how you can see the Marina Towers right behind there. Kraft. Oh, Kraft was passed over. Kraft was passed over. I think I think you're talking. Yeah, you're right. Kraft was passed over. Thanks for that information there. Here, we'll head over to Clark Street. RPM Steak. Hey, RPM Steak. Yeah. So I know RPM Steak's right around here. I think I just passed it. So hey, that's good. Yeah, RPM Steak's right around here. We're heading over towards Clark Street.
Don't do that right now, but you're gonna do it.
Is this Kinsey or Hubbard? No, this is Hubbard Street, I think. Hey, they got the fake plants growing on the wall there. Look, they got the vines going through the ceiling. So we're over at Clark Street here. We'll head past all the little restaurants here on Clark Street. Somebody puts the scooter right there. Taco Bell in Aurora. How you doing there, Phil? Taco smell. Yeah, Clark Street. They still got the lights up here. And there's Clark Street towards the Loop. River, we just came from there. Hey, look at the battle. How you doing there? Nice dump truck. Look at that. There's the Smith. The Smith is sitting full. This is on Clark Street, River North, Chicago, Illinois. We got 5:34 in the PM, 27 degrees Fahrenheit, -3 Celsius. I'm heading home from work. We got, I think I set the time there, 5:34. Levain Bakery. If you like this information, hit the thumbs up. It allows more people to find this. Tune in, see what's happening in Chicago. Hey, Havana. And of course, I don't show the whole of Chicago. I try to. I got 300 videos of the south and west side, but I'm mainly up on the downtown and north side because that's where I live. Here's Al Capone. Al Capone wouldn't like me because I'm a north sider. He would have thought I was in Dean O'Banion's territory, or I was at least in Bugs Moran's territory. We got the St. Valentine's Day Massacre coming up, so get ready. Here's the Boss Bar, Chicago Boss Bar. They got a mural to Richard M. Daley, the first mayor of Chicago, or the first Daley. His son was also mayor. So hey, let's head up past these Christmas trees. I don't know what this car is doing. It's like they can't get through the intersection. They're all trying to get to the side, and they're kind of blocking. So I think we're gonna go. Watch, they'll back right into us. Here we're Clark and Hubbard. So we were on Kinsey. Now we're on Hubbard and Clark. I got a street off, and see, there's Bub City. There's Rick Bayless's Frontera Grill, Cafe Baba Reba. Hey, I could show this. A new kind, Sunnyside's coming to River North. Well, I think it's already here. I'm glad I'm on YouTube. There's yeah. So we'll head past the M Room. Frankfurt, Germany. How you doing? No, he's fine. He's right up there. Yeah, I saw him. It looked like that car was blocking him, but he's doing fine. He's right there. So, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I was looking out for him. Thanks for catching that. Hey, that's good. So here, Clark and is this Illinois? Clark and Illinois Street. Oops, got people on both sides of me here. So here we'll head right past the lights here. Yeah, Blue Chicago's here. We'll start zigging and zagging. I'll start going over towards Wells and Franklin Street. We'll zig and zag through River North here. But hey, I like these storefronts. There's the loft, and they got the Hyatt Place with that restaurant. Mendocino Farms. Huh. Hey, there's a mural. Isabel Scott. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Davo. How you doing? Robert, Virginia Beach, Pittsburgh Northside. Hey, that's good. Hey, I'm missing comments here. Yeah, free ride. I'll hop on the wheelchair there. Yeah, he'll pull me along. Sushi-san. Yeah, so that sunny sign's been there for a while. Thanks for helping out. Yeah, I appreciate it. It just said a new kind of place. You know, first long time I was streaming on TikTok, and TikTok was notorious for giving me violations for if I would just like mention the name of a shop or show the window with the leaf. It would be like it wouldn't even just do like adult material. It would like ban. It would give me a 3-day suspension. You know. There, Fado's Irish Bar, Irish Pub here. Yeah, Fado's. I spent many a drunken night in Fado's. There's Mangiano's, they cater a lot. This is this nice building here, this Italian 8 building. Got the nice stoops here. Muller Firm Limited. Abarella. Abella Bar, I said it wrong. I can't read anything right. We're on Grand Avenue here, Grand Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. We're over by the Anti-Cruelty Society if you want to adopt a pet. And yeah, I might try to cross the street since I don't. Here, hey, Peruvian. It's a Peruvian place here. Tante, Cocina Peruana. Is that how you say that? So they tore this building down. There was a building here, and remember. It had the J.C. Rivera murals on it, and did they tear that down, or am I thinking of a different block? I might be a different block. Let's see if we get across the street here. It's kind of weird with these cars, and I'm risking my life because I'm hoping this car on the left doesn't clip me. Here, this is LaSalle Street. I better get across here. Hey, the Ohio House. But there's the CTA train going across there. It's crossing this is Grand Avenue just past LaSalle. I'm gonna check out the Anti-Cruelty Society, see if there's any dogs or cats looking out of the cages there that need to be adopted. And of course, people, they'll say, Brian, why don't you adopt a dog? I'm not home enough. If you really cared about a dog or a cat, somebody needs to be home more than I am. I'm never home. I'm always walking, and when I'm home, I'm sleeping. But here's the Anti-Cruelty Society here. You could be your Valentine there, the Anti-Cruelty Society here. And this is on Grand Avenue and LaSalle here, Chicago, Illinois. Let me show you what this front looks like. It looks like a dog's face. See, they got all. It's a shelter for animals here. And what I'm going to attempt to do is we'll get out in the street. You see how this looks like a dog's face? You see how it looks like a nose, a mouth, and the ears? It looks like a dog's face for the Anti-Cruelty Society. It took me years. I never noticed that looked like that. And people are like, yeah, that's the building that looks like a dog. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I finally saw it, you know. But here, yeah, they got cats. They got cats, and they got, what else they got here? This is the Anti-Cruelty Society here on LaSalle Street. See, she's petting the cat there. Yeah, they're looking at the cats. There, you can pet a cat. There's the cat. How you doing there, cat? Very nice. Yeah, very nice. I don't want to creep these people out. They're just adopting cats and messing with the cats here. So I'm trying to get across the people walking here. Okay, good. Hey, there's actually people walking down the street here. Hey, they got the rabbit. Do they have rabbits? I guess they got rabbits. Do you see any? There's a rabbit. Yeah, there's some rabbits there. So there's rabbits at the Anti-Cruelty Society. Deep dish tomato pie. Funny pizza for dough, yeah. Orange cat like Garfield. Yeah, let's see if we can find Garfield. So these are the dogs. So I'm okay with empty cages because, I mean, there's a dog, so there's a wagging a tail. This dog's seeing what's going on. Feels like it's missing out on the action. How you doing? They're heading around here. Hey, there's a dog. There's a puppy. How you doing there, puppy? So the Anti-Cruelty Society here in Chicago. Hey, empty cages means, to me, that's good, because I've seen that where all the cages are filled, which means the empty cages means there isn't as many animals in there unless they got them out somewhere else. But hey, here's we'll head over to Wells Street, Chicago, Illinois. We're just cruising through River North here. We're zigging and zagging. Yeah, Grim Evil. Yeah, adopt them all. Yeah, one gold Nubian Grim Evil. How you doing there? Thanks, Sicko. How you doing? SCIKO. John. No, yeah, we won't judge for typos. I make typos all the time. I can't even pronounce stuff right, so we're easy come, easy go. I try to be, as long as you don't troll. That's the one thing I do kind of lose it on, but it's so easy to do. Hey, that's the Sears Tower there. We'll go across the street and we can show it. So let me see if I can wipe down the. It looks like my camera's a little foggy. Let's see if we can work on the glare there. So here's the accordion double long Chicago buses. This is Wells Street, but that's the Sears Tower. That's the top of the Sears Tower, Chicago, Illinois, over the Merchandise Mart. It's hard to see with that LED light. Oops, sorry. And here we'll get back a little further and we'll be able to turn around and see it once we get further north. Yeah, it's a beautiful city. Susie, how you doing there? You got 4 dogs. Hey, that's great. Yeah, dog lover. Hey, Gilda's Club. This is Gilda Club. Remember Gilda Radner? She unfortunately died of cancer. This is the Gilda Club in Chicago, 537. There, see, it says Gilda Clubs. Gilda Radner's. This is Gilda. Look at all the pictures of Gilda Radner. Who remembers Gilda Radner from Saturday Night Live and The Second City and Hands Off Chicago? There it is. We are Gilda. Gilda Radner was great. I remember her because I was a kid and she was still performing. Here, O'Leary's Public House. O'Leary's Public House here, of course. This is O'Leary's. Now, yeah, you get the bone there. You get the bone for the dog. It's great. O'Leary's Public House. I've watched Bearcats games there for Cincinnati Bearcats. There's Al's Italian Beef. So Al's Beef used to be there. Al's Beef moved across the corner and got a lease there, and then they probably raised the rent, and that one's vacant because they raised the rate. So Al's Beef was like, okay, you're raising the rent, we'll go negotiate with this building piece. You know what? There's plenty of commercial space available. There's a lot of empty storefronts, so people have a hard time, should have a harder time raising the rent, but they aren't, because there's the elevated train there. So we're on Wells Street here. We're crossing Ohio Street. There's the Ohio House Motel. And there's the Brown Line headed into the Loop. Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. We got 27 degrees, 5:45 in the PM, -3 Celsius. Hit the thumbs up. Do it for JC Rivera and the Fair Champ. Yeah. Yeah, she was so talented. Gilda Radner was great. Thanks for seeing that there. See, another dispensary. Imagine that. Welcome to Illinois. Hey, Dave's Hot Chicken. There's a Dave's Hot Chicken right there. Aisha's tuning in there. Faraz. Hey, Chicago misses you. Yeah, check it out, Heather. You know, at least thanks for checking out virtually. You know, there's so many Chicago live streamers that you can always tune in and see somebody streaming. I got to walk. These people get trapped trying to get, it backs up so much. This is the people trying to get on the Kennedy Expressway. And it's this. Hey, the European Wax Center. Hey, electric bus. 66, that goes to Navy Pier. You go to the west side, it goes to Pulaski. Pulaski at night. Who knows Aaron Bird? Anybody listen to Aaron Bird music? Here, Lozano Spritzeria. Huh. Look at that place. So this is Wells Street, Wells and Erie, Wells and Erie. And guess what? There's another dispensary. There's a dispensary on every block. We're like in the Golden Triangle here, or the Emerald Triangle. Hey, here's the Hooters. People often ask where the Hooters is at in Chicago. Last time I was inside there was like 20 years ago. Let's see here. It smells like butter. There's the capsule. I hear the train coming. I hear that train coming. There it is. Look at that. There's your elevated train there. Erie Street, Chicago, Illinois. So this is this building that's like the Jenga building. See how the floors are like staggered. It's hard to see because of that light. Let me get back a little further here. There, you see how the floors are staggered? Everything's in the way. V8, get a V8 engine, straight 8. AI friends, yeah, you want some virtual friends? That's what the future is. People have virtual girlfriends, virtual boyfriends, virtual pets. We'll all just float off and live in our own reality, the metaverse. We'll live in Zuckerberg's heaven. Here's CVS. Here's the coffee place. Poke-san. What is that? Poke-san? It's Poke-san. This is a Greek restaurant, Alvi. We're crossing Huron Street, and Wells Street, River North Chicago. Alvi inspired Greek. It's all Greek to me. 100 years of Chicago hockey, yeah. No, Alvi's got a restaurant in Lake Charisse. We went by it at lunchtime, and this is the one in River North. Huh. Chateau on Wells. Must be a wine place. Hey, look at that window. See, I love this. There's still some residential storefronts, or they were, you know, storefronts with residences above that still survive in this area, Dallas. But see, this one on the corner, yeah, there's new construction here. We went by this earlier in the year, and or maybe it was in December we went by. I gotta watch out. You see if the cars will use the bike lane or not. I'm trying to use the bike lane to here. This is new construction. This is new construction here at Superior and Wells Street. Once I get across the street, we'll spin around and show it to you so we could kind of document the progress of this building here. So Superior, there's the southern end of the Chicago stop on the brown and purple line. Look at this new construction here. Superior and Wells Street, Chicago, Illinois. I don't know what this is going to be, but it's pretty, it's really tall ceilings. I mean, those are 20-foot, 15-foot tall ceilings, very tall floors. And there's the Brahon Pub, an Irish pub here on Wells Street, Chicago, Illinois. You can go to the Carryman over on Clark too. That's Dean O'Banion used to hang out at that bar and sing songs before he was killed. He'd sing you an Irish ditty. Chicago. Just got back. Yeah, thanks Grandma's Corner. Thanks for the good info there. There's your time and temp. Hit the thumbs up there for Grandma's Corner. Thanks for helping out. Yeah, come back to Chicago. Louisiana. Yeah, still in Chirac. You got it. The last person standing. Oh, we got rollers. Ah, there they go through the intersection. So here's your check on Chicago gas prices. So I know it's much cheaper where you're at unless you're in California or New York. Here's $3.29. Here's the BP at Chicago and Wells Street. Is that better or worse? So we'll cross the street here. Hey, you got a lottery ticket. Hey, I'll share it with you. Hopefully it's a winner there. Yeah. Actually, you deserve it because you bought it. But I'll just think of me if you win. I hope you win. I hope you win, and then we'll promote your channel. You can start a whole new lifestyle. So here's more police are coming down Chicago Avenue. So we'll see if this police officer comes here and makes a left as well. We'll see which way it's going here. I can't tell which way it's going. So it went north. So that police officer went north on LaSalle Street, and we're over here by Wells. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over towards Franklin here, and we'll go up Orleans. So there's a really good view to the Sears Tower. There's the Sears Tower, Chicago, Illinois. We're at Chicago Avenue. See, there's a BP gas station, and that's the full height, 1,400 feet of the Sears Tower. It looks like Sauron's Tower. It looks like the Mordor. It looks like the Tower of Doom, the lidless eye, within it's red like that. Yeah, the blood in this city's sadly for real. I saw that in New Orleans. It was on the side of a building. It says, sadly, the blood in this city's real. There was somebody killed on right here, right in this area. There was a club that happened last year. Nick Koiken rushed over there that night and documented it. But this is the Chicago stop on the purple and brown line. Here comes the brown line heading up to Kimball. There it goes. Looks like it's going into the building there. Look at that. Scenes of the city. Scenes of the city here, Chicago and Franklin. See how you can look underneath the elevated tracks, just like the Blues Brothers. You could drive underneath the elevated tracks. There it goes. See, it goes around that way. So yeah, let's head up this way. It's like, it almost feels like you're in the West Loop a little bit here, but this is still River North. Hey, the paper stores. That's a beautiful building there with the corner turret windows. Yeah, everybody wants to go for a walk. Well, I'm easy to find. People find me in the street and walk with me, you know. Here's where I'm at, you know, Chicago and Franklin. People ran down from buildings to say hello, waved it from balconies, threw stuff at me, yelled from the car, yelled from the train, yelled from the bus. People have yelled from trucks. One time, 2 police officers were watching my stream, and it freaked me out because they were sitting in a cruiser and they were waving at me, and I'm like, officers, there's a problem. They're like, yeah, we like your channel. I'm like, what? That freaked me out. I don't want ICE watching my channel. That's what a lot of people cover their face because they see a camera and they assume everything's government surveillance. Here's which is not a bad policy nowadays. Hey, there's the brown line heading towards the loop. So that's the brown line heading south, heading towards the loop here. We're at is this Institute Street? One of these streets. There's your Chicago mass transit. Yeah, it's named after the Moody Bible Institute. It's a college. It's called the Moody Bible Institute. See how it says Slow-Mo Institute? I somehow think that's playing off the Moody Bible Institute. There's the Slow-Mo Institute, but the Moody Bible Institute is a college associated with the Moody Church. The actual Moody Church is up on Clark Street. Hey, here's the purple line. There's the purple line heading to Evanston. There's your Purple Line Express. Hey, nice views to the city. Yeah, it's warmer tonight than it usually is during the day. Yeah, 27 degrees is not bad at nighttime and wintertime in Chicago. So, see, Institute, I'm not making it up. Institute Place, Orleans Street, Luke Austin Drive. So this is called Orleans Street. We're still kind of on the edge of River North. We're kind of heading towards Oldtown now. And I call this the backside of Oldtown because most people see the Wells side of Oldtown, but they don't see the Clybourne, Cabrini Green side of Oldtown. That's all housing there. This is housing. I like walking down the street because you get many chances to see the elevated train on here. There you go. Vanderkook School of Music. That's good. I never heard of that, but I believe you. Hey, there you go. Nice school of music there. There's Traditions Barbershop. There's a Nepalese. If you were looking for a Nepalese food from Nepal, you go to Momo. How many places have Nepalese food outside of Tibet? That's what's great about living in a big city like this. You get all kinds of nice cuisine. Hey, here's just the brown line, the purple line. I can't tell. Does that look like brown line? Yeah, it's the brown line heading up to Kimball, I think. You hear that train coming? There's a nice mural here too. So hey, Chicago, Illinois, 27 degrees, -3 Celsius. We got 5:58 in the PM. There's a brown line heading up to Kimball. Over Chicago. We're over on Orleans Street. We're gonna head up to Lincoln Park because that's where I live. I'm heading home from work. It's not that I want to cover Lincoln Park, it's actually where I live. That's why I'm always going there. So sue me. I'm not rich. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, but I waste a bunch of money living up there, I know. So the joke's on me. I ain't impressing anybody. It just works for me. It's just where I want to live and where I want to walk to. I like the tree-lined streets, and I like walking down those streets all seasons of the year. I like living there, the lake. It's expensive. There's the brown line. So this is Orleans Street. Orleans and Locust Street. See, Cabrini Green used to be all over there. Some of the churches remain. They tore down a church to build that. It was a beautiful Spanish revival church that they tore down to build condos. I wish they could have somehow adapted or reused the church, but it was before. It was just cheaper for them to tear it down and build new, is what it is. That could have happened to the Wayman Church. Fortunately, even though the Wayman was altered, they were able to adapt it or reuse it as housing and not totally destroy the historical character of the historic church. Here's St. Luke's Church of God of Christ. This is on Orleans Street and Walton. See, we're not even to Oak Street. Yeah, Mother's, we passed it this morning. There's Mother's is on Division Street. It's a piano bar, right? Yeah. You go downstairs, they got piano. Hey, Mogadishu, what I'm talking about, here's some Somalian cuisine. There was another place that was South Asian, Pakistani. You got Nepalese food. You got some really interesting cuisine here on Orleans Street. Here, El Diyar Restaurant, Yemeni. How many times have you had Yemeni cuisine here? Isn't that great? Check that out. There's the church there. That's the Union Church. Look at that stained glass. That's nice. Yeah, I'm strutting like Travolta. We're singing the Bee Gees here. I'm a ladies' man. I don't got time to talk. Travolta. Who's got Shorty? Here's where we at here? Orleans and Oak Street. So we made it to Oak Street. See, we get some nice view to the Chicago skyline. There's the John Hancock, the 900 North Michigan building, which I call the Bloomingdale's Mall. Here we got the walk. And we'll head up towards Clybourne. I'll probably head up Cleveland Street through Oldtown. But we got this nice view back to the John Hancock, the Michigan Avenue skyline of Chicago. Hey, Masala Magic. Masala Magic, I think this is South Asia. It's hard to, let's see if I zoom in. There, see Masala Magic. It just magically appeared. Oh, I don't know if Hubert's still tuning in. I know he was tuning in before. Hubert gave me the good information like a dummy because I'm a man. I don't have any fashion sense, and especially for, you probably can imagine what I think about the Kardashians. But there's a new Spanx store, SPANKS. Is that one of the Kardashian brands? I don't know which Kardashian it is because I don't buy Spanx, but there was a new Spanx sign going up at Oak and Rush Street, and I forgot to see if it was installed this morning. We walked through there, so remind me the next time we go by Oak and Rush to look for the Spanx sign. I'll show you where the Kardashians got a new store there at Oak and Rush somehow. Wendell and Orleans here, Chicago, Illinois. Thanks for tuning in. Heading by the L tracks here. Hey, look at this building. Look at that. Look at those windows. Huh. So yeah, let's cross here. That's right here. Here comes the bus. Ah, we missed the bus. So there's a school over there. This is where Cabrini Green used to be. 1030 North. This is 1030 North Orleans Street, Chicago, Illinois. There's the brown line. There's the brown line. Head through there. Let's get it with the skyline. Hey, look at that. Looks nice with the John Hancock. Look at that. There's the train going through there. Yeah. Right through the building. Those are those apartments, those luxury apartments on Wells. So they changed this. And I saw Jennifer You Should Eat was up by North and Sheffield yesterday. There's a new Lululemon store there that they changed it over. It looked different, and she was commenting about it as well. She went over to the Peter Hand. Everybody know where the Peter Hand logo is on those buildings they saved. She points that out. That's a fun place. After School Matters. So I don't know what that is. This used to be a bar type thing, but then now they make it After School Matters. So I guess here's 1044 North Orleans. So this is a fire insurance patrol historic place, but they work on they work on the Chicago equipment trucks and the fire trucks. But yeah, they work on the breathing apparatus and the ambulances that are usually at the fire stations. They work on them here. It's like a maintenance facility for the city, I think. This is Seward Park. Seward Park's named after he was in Lincoln's cabinet. He was the one that purchased Alaska. Here's St. Joseph's. Here's St. Joseph's Church here. And this is the mother church of St. Michael's that we always go by in Oldtown. This church is actually older, even though it looks newer, because the steeple was damaged, I think, by a fire, and they replaced it with this modernist thing. It's notable that the L track bends around it. They made a curve in the elevated CTA tracks for the brown and purple line that wrap around this. They didn't tear down the back of the church because the church was here before the elevated tracks. Even though it doesn't look that old, it is, because it was destroyed in the Great Chicago Fire. Here's the original one. This is Seward Park. They got a community center here. You can take boxing classes and all kinds of things here. There's the old O'Brien's clock. Oh, is it called Skims? Okay, it's called Skims, S-K-I-M. Okay, I was saying it wrong. I was saying Skanks. Or what was I saying? Skims, yeah. So is that Kardashian's brand? I don't even know. I'm going by Hubert. Hubert helps me out with this stuff, like the Michigan Avenue stores. He knows all the stuff. He's like the Chamber of Commerce there. It's great. Here's Seward Park. Hey, let's walk through here. We'll go through the snow here. Wintertime, it's easy to walk through here. There's more people hanging out here in the summertime. Yeah, you can check out, if you go to my TikTok, Brian Really Chicago, pinned to the top. We went to Parkway Gardens, we went to O Block, and King Von mural, you can see it right there. I got one where I ride under the green line. I rode a bike under the green line tracks at 63rd. Went over to Cottage Grove, and yeah, we saw O Block, Parkway Gardens, and we saw Al Capone's in 73rd and Prairie Avenue, which is Grand Crossing. That's actually south of O Block. I need to get over to the H.H. Holmes. You know, thankfully they destroyed the building, but it was his house of horrors where he was a serial killer. If you ever read Devil in the White City, it's by a post office. The actual property's on a post office there in Inglewood. You can get to it by taking the green line or the red line and walking a little bit. And it's like 60 something. But I don't get down that way too much, obviously. Here's yeah, here's the train heading across. This is Division Street in between Sedgwick and Wells Street. Now we're backside of Oldtown, or that's what I call this. So here we'll head over to Clybourne here. I want to show you this clock tower here. Let's see. Or we'll head over towards Clybourne. This is Division Street. We got a bike lane. Hey, there it is, Seward Park, S-E-W-A-R-D, that's how you spell it. He was a rival to Abraham Lincoln. He unsuccessfully ran to get the Republican nominee. In 1860, he lost Abraham Lincoln. That was Seward. So Lincoln, since he was in the Republican Party, he put him in his cabinet. He was Secretary of State. And then he ended up buying Alaska from the Russians, which, again, I always find laughable because the Russians never conquered Alaska. They claimed it by circling on a map and said, we own this. Inuit, thousands of Inuit people were living there. They weren't party to the transactions. Why did the world accept that the United States owned this piece of land? Just because we had a military, and immediately we went up and said, this is ours. And then they discovered gold. Every time, the Black Hills, the Georgia Appalachian Mountains, the Trail of Tears, there's always a gold rush that precedes a land grab from Native Americans. Well, California was the same way. The United States could have conquered Mexico in the Mexican-American War, 1848, but we said, oh, we'll just take your northern provinces that are sparsely populated. We'll take California, Texas. Well, they annexed Texas. These are the Texas Republic. And Arizona and New Mexico and Arizona and, you know, the rest. Utah, Nevada. A year after that, 1849, what all gold's discovered in California. We need some settlers to come out here. How many of them made it rich? Probably like 5%. The rest of them stayed, though, and they built San Francisco, and they built Sacramento, and they built Los Angeles, and you've seen Chinatown, drained a whole river, and some of the most beautiful, fertile, wine-growing land in the world, even better than Napa Valley, is the San Fernando Valley. You go up towards north of Santa Barbara there. They would drain whole rivers to feed Los Angeles's thirst for water and made it desert again. Here's Clybourne Street, Chicago, Illinois. So they got a clock tower there. That's the clock tower in Seward Park. How's everybody doing? Yeah, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Thanks. I know I'm rambling on here. I'm missing all the comments. Thanks everybody for sticking on. Yeah, there's a motorcycle shop. Remember we saw the Serve robot there with the motorcycle guy one time. Yeah. So right now we're at Division Street. This is Clybourne. This is Chicago, Illinois. We're north and west of the downtown, and Clybourne heads at an angle, goes up to Lane Tech. This is the DAINSE. It's a motorcycle protection store. We got the Jewel Osco here, and I'm gonna head up Cleveland Street, and it's gonna turn more residential. So I'll try to cross here where Tabak restaurant is. Hey, get your mattress, get your soda. 0% financing, they'll give you a mattress. See, I'll pay you later after it's all soiled and stinky. Hey, see, here's a bike lane here, people using the bike lane. See, this building looks like a CTA train car. They use like the stainless titanium there. Here's the Tabak. See if we can cross here. We're waiting to cross. The cars are going so slow. Why are the cars going so slow? I don't understand why. I guess they got to stop. That's why. So here, and there's a stop sign there. So I just want to cross. Here's the Tabak restaurant. How you doing here, Tabak? Very nice. Pakistani, Indian, Middle Eastern. Very nice. Here, I'm in the bike lane. Let me get out of the bike lane. Sorry. I'm in the bike lane. Sorry. I was in the bike lane. I got to pay attention because I forget about these bike lanes. And of course, when I ride a bike and I yell at people in the bike lane, I was in the bike lane. He should have yelled at me. I saw his light. Hey, you need a shopping cart? There's a shopping cart. Let's push it down. This is going to end up in the river someday. But here's, yeah, we'll head up Cleveland Street here. Clybourne and Cleveland Street. Goethe. Hey, there's the Cybertruck. I didn't even see it was a Cybertruck. Hey, there's a nice custom Cybertruck there. It's going in Evergreen Terrace. Okay, good. So, yeah, let's head up Cleveland Street. And we're still, they call this the backside of Oldtown. And it's nice residential housing here. Evergreen Terrace apartments. And then on the other side of that is the Marshall Field Garden Apartments. Look at this nice infill housing we got here. Look at that wraparound balcony. And then here's one of my favorite houses here. We'll show. It sits at an angle. It's like a shipping container house, and you can park underneath it, and it has a roof deck. And so it's stacked. You use the full 3 dimensions. You use the roof of the building for the roof deck. The underneath is where you park, and it covers your car. And they got cats. It has this little triangle lot. And hey, they got some nice little blue lights out here. There it is. So I call this a shipping container house. See how it's modular. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can park underneath. You go up. I'm sure it has the stairwell wraps around. You get to the roof deck. Isn't that nice? It's all simple. Very, very, very mod. Very, you can put your IKEA furniture in there. Yeah. Too many choices. No, you could change the channel. You could turn social media off if you're complaining about social media. Why are you complaining about social media on social media? That seems like the stupidest thing I ever heard. It's like reading the classifieds. Like, why are people paying money for ads? You know. You complain, yeah. Stop reading the phone book. Hey, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America. No, the reason I do this is an existential thing. It's just a way to stay connected with our community. I'm a introvert. For years, I stayed at home, talked to no one, searched the internet, talked to the walls. Now I'm talking to you. It's not the same as talking in real life, but we do meet people in real life. People come up and say hello. We've seen several people today. It's like, hey, there's that guy with the weird voice. I heard that somewhere before. It's like impressions. Okay, so have you heard of Shepard Fairey? He's a street artist like Banksy, where he makes street art and murals and impressions and handbills and things that they paste on walls. He did the Obey, which is Andre the Giant saying Obey. I'm sure you've seen it because everybody in the world has seen it. That's the point. The point is like Andy Warhol. It's just to get your artwork out there. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. Everything is branding, marketing. And even artwork is marketed. You can have the best artwork in the world, nobody knows about it. You discover that stuff all the time. You take a urinal, turn it sideways, put munch on it. Becomes one of the most valuable Dada artwork. You know, Vincent van Gogh, people would have threw it in the trash. Now it's the most valuable artwork that ever existed. He never made a dime from it. He only sold one painting his entire life. And he used it to eat food, you know, and cut off his ear. You know, it's just, life's weird. Look at we talk about like the raised streets of Chicago. See how they had to raise the street and you get these garden apartments. You see it more on the west and south side, but there's a few areas here near Clybourne in the river. You start to see it here on the backside of Oldtown. See, look at that, perfect there. Look at the raised streets there. See some of them, they filled it in. There's a school over here. We're on Cleveland Street, backside of Oldtown. And here's the funny thing. I don't have to live stream. I've been doing this walk more or less in some form since 1999. 25 of those years I did it without live streaming. I listened to audiobooks, would meditate, listen to music. You know, this is my commute. It's a long commute. Some people do hour-long commutes driving on the interstate because they want to live in the countryside and work in the city or something like that, or they got a property that they acquired that they want to hold on to, so they can drive a lot. Or take a train. Some people take an hour-long train commute. You know, you find other stuff to do on the train. That's what this is. South Coast. Hey, people tuning in from the UK. May, see, look, there's more people tuning in from the South Coast of the UK. That's great. Yeah, across the pond there. See, you know, there's someone, you know, there is value in this. Look, we're connecting people from all over the world, and we learn stuff from each other. Some people may have never known anything about Chicago or known that, you know, we talk about, yeah, there are bad things about Chicago. We talk about that every day. These people bring it up. And they want to know, how bad is it? Well, you know, you can't fake what I'm doing. You know, it's real. Someone come up, steal my phone. So I got a backup phone. Then they'll steal that. Did you see there was a video of a how desperate I shouldn't knock it because I might have to do it someday, but how desperate do you have to be to attempt to rob a bar? And there was somebody that walked into a bar with there was 6 people sitting at the bar with the bartender, walks in, say this is a robbery. So there, you know, the bar had a security cam, so it showed 5 of the people ducked under the bar, put their hands up. The bartender just there was like a trap door. He disappeared. There was one guy sitting at the bar, and he just sat there calmly looking at his phone. The guy with the gun came up to him, put the gun in his face, and tried to get his phone. He didn't let him have his phone. He held onto his phone. The guy gave up and went around the bar to see if there was money in the cash register. The guy lit a cigarette and just kind of looked at him. And the guy got frustrated, the guy trying to rob because he couldn't find any money, and he just left. There's the purple line. There's the purple line heading through, this is Cleveland Street, Chicago, Illinois. And look, if you look this way, look, you can see right to you can look right to the Sears Tower. There's the Sears Tower. This is Cleveland Street, Oldtown, Chicago. Look, it looks like the Mordor, it's the Tower of Doom. But that guy just sat there, and the guy Robert left, and he didn't even get up. It was funny. Here's hey, there's the train going the other way. I can't tell what that is. It's a brown line going to Kimball there, Oldtown. So we'll cross North Avenue. We'll head up to once we cross North Avenue, we'll be in Lincoln Park. Yeah, we'll try to be safe. United States of America, planet Earth. I got to add the planet Earth because a lot of times people ask, I'll say this is Chicago, and they're like, what country? And I have to remember that people are tuning in from all over the world. That's why I have to say 27 degrees Fahrenheit. I have to say -3 Celsius, because people will ask. They're like, what's that in Celsius? So I just, you know, I'm learning my temperature scales. It's all math. Hey, we just went under the elevated CTA train tracks here, Chicago, Illinois, 27 degrees, -3 Celsius. There's St. Michael's. We got 6:22 in the PM. If you like this, hit the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Thanks everybody for the gifts, likes, and follows. And check me out on YouTube. I'll eventually put some stuff on Substack, but I'm just too lazy here. I'm always walking. The train bullet, yeah. So here, let's play Frogger. There's the dance studio. There's a boxing club. One of these streets, Mohawk, has a boxing club. It's one block over. Here, I'm gonna cross the street here. At least I'm gonna get out in the median here. Left turn lane. I missed it. I should have ran across, but the traffic's coming, so I'll get out here in the median, and we'll film all about dance here. Go. That car was going to stop, but I've learned the hard way. You don't want to cross with 2 lanes with one person stop, because there's no guarantee the person in the right lane is going to stop, and they don't have to, and I don't expect them to. So we'll just wait to clear. There's the elevated train there. Here we're waiting to cross. So it's really hard to cross here at North Avenue, and that's why I usually don't come down this way. I usually cross the Sedgwick, because I don't like making this crossing. And look, this car is going to turn right when I want to walk here. So, hey, we made it to Ogden Corners. Why they call it Ogden Corners? Ogden used to run through here at an angle. We talk about that. And here we'll go by St. Michael's. How you doing? So here, Meyer in Cleveland. Huh. I didn't know that was called Meyer. So here, this is some of the workmen's cottages here, the southern end of Lincoln Park. It's technically maybe on the edge of the Oldtown Triangle, but I'm not for sure. Look, abolish ICE. No human is illegal. Look at that. And that's the old ice freeze polar bear. That's what that is playing off of there. So hey, Chicago, Illinois, Cleveland Street, showing people's First Amendment free expressions. I show the world as it is. Take it or leave it. There's 1626, 1600 block of Cleveland Street. We'll go by St. Michael's. Yeah, the traffic islands. That's it. Yeah, I was in the traffic islands. Islands in the streams. That's what we are. No, that was Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers, right? Yeah, the Dixie Chicks. They just call themselves Chicks right now. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah. Hands off Chicago. Hands off. Wax on, wax off. You see how quiet it is once you get on these tree-lined streets here, once we get to Lincoln Park. Yes, name a snowplow, abolish ICE. That's good. That's a good one, George. Or Gregory. Sorry, said your name wrong. John. Oh, John said it. John said that. Yeah, John, that was a good one there. They're going to name the snowplow truck abolish ICE. Yeah, we'll be careful. I don't want to slip. Yeah, it's like time to stop or going in reverse. There's the blue bush. There's St. Michael's. We'll get a good view of the steeple once we go around this little roundabout. Well, it's a parking lot is what it is. So Eugenie Street doesn't carry through, and Cleveland Street wraps around, and then we can connect to Cleveland this way. But here's St. Michael's Church here in Oldtown. Time we got 6:26, so we might hear the 6:30 chimes once we get up Cleveland Street. But here it is. Look at the, yeah, we've gone inside there. There's the St. Michael's in Oldtown. Hey, Tom's tuning in there. Hey, Grim Evil May. Tom Bud, how you doing? Yeah. Laura, just in time. We got the Cleveland Street, Lincoln Park. We got 6:27 in the PM, Chicago time. We got about 8 blocks to go. 8 blocks to go. But see, I think St. Michael's had something to do with this. They didn't, or it was like the dispensable space when Cabrini Green was going on. They would block off streets. They did that on Burton Place in Wells, off of Wells Street too. They turned it into a cul-de-sac, and I think Cabrini Green had something to do with it. Here's Cleveland Street. Now we're in Lincoln Park. Yeah, thanks, Winter. Thanks for tuning in. Butthead. Let the kids learn. Yeah, learn by osmosis. Let it seep in. Oh, someone lost their mitten. That's a true mitten there. That's a nice mitten. Somebody's leather mitten there. Suede. I guess you wouldn't want to have a suede mitten. That would get ruined. What's going on? I don't even want to read what... Yeah, well... I'm glad that one's already gone, thanks. Yeah, sometimes churches can look foreboding. It depends on how you catch them in the light. It's kind of dark looking. It's winter time. No, I see what you mean. Or you should see what happened. I told you the story of what happened when I went to Galveston and we filmed the... What is it called? The Church of the... Our Lady of something, whatever it's called. And like every Catholic church is called that. Like there's like hundreds of them. And so it got confused, and the Buddhist monks were walking through Texas, and it was a different part of Texas, and somebody from a different church called the cops on the monks. And so the when I posted that video, since it was in Texas and it was right when that news was hitting, everybody saw the video, assumed that was the church that called the police on the monks in Texas, and they all started yelling at me in the chat. And I was like, first of all, what are you talking about? Why are you yelling at me by posting this church? I told people I wasn't Catholic, and I was just, I went inside, I was talking about the architecture. I wasn't preaching or nothing, I was like, here's this historic church in Galveston, Texas, and talking about the the interior design, and what it was a mistaken identity. That church had a very same name as the church. Somebody really did call the cops on the monks, but they just were scared. It wasn't like they were calling ICE. The sheriff showed up and they said, it's all people camping on the side of the road. They got worried. They would have called it if they were hippies too, but maybe they didn't like Buddhist monks. But now, there it is. There, it looks very creepy. St. Michael's there. They say if you hear the bells of St. Michael's, you're in Oldtown. So we're leaving Oldtown. Here's the Oldtown Market. Oldtown Market, right on cue. Look at this beautiful storefront. They turned to housing here on Cleveland Street, St. Michael's Church. But yeah, isn't that amazing that, and then the only reason that video blew up, it was controversial. Like, if it wasn't for somebody calling the cops on the Buddhist monk in a different church, it wouldn't have got like 70,000 views. It was because most of the people were like angry when they saw it and they thought that was the church to call. And if I was in the Creator Fund, I would have been okay with it because I would have made a bunch of money off that video for the wrong reason. But I'm not in the Creator Fund anymore because they kicked me out. Here's Cleveland Street. And I can rejoin, but I'm not going to do it because I'd rather have the sympathy. It's not worth it. You get like a nickel. 2 million views, you get a nickel. And we can use your video for our own commercial without paying you. That's what TikTok says. But we knew it was going to happen. Everything that can be monetized will be monetized. You, me, our brains. Bad brains. Hey, Cleveland Street. Hey, still got the Christmas decorations out. We got February the 3rd. Happy February. I like this. Yeah, leave them up all. Just leave them up. Yeah, the architecture. Thanks, Brent. Thanks for appreciating the Chicago architecture. That's why I like it too. And that's how I started with this. Thanks, yeah. Great American cities. Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we got a lot of good Chicago live streamers. That's good. You don't have to watch me. You got many options here in Chicago too. Hey, Matthias, Patty, Baller Park. Here we're at Wisconsin Street and Cleveland Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago, heading home from work. 6:32. I'll tell you what, it's really pleasant walking in 27-degree weather. Trust me, it's much better. 7-degree weather, it's painful. It's just after a while, the battery runs down faster. You know, nothing works right. Your glasses, my mustache is all frozen. Happened to Ernesto too. Hey, thanks everybody for supporting Ernesto. He's been, you know, going through a rough time with the death of a close family member there in Minneapolis, and you know the story there. So thanks for everybody that sent support. Please, he's going to take some time off, and maybe he's streaming now. I don't know. He'll stream when he's ready, and he's got to have time to grieve, and it's hard because that beautiful kid did not deserve that, and I'm still angry about it. I don't even want to talk about it. Out of respect to Ernesto's family, and it's such a tragedy. But thanks everybody for supporting Ernesto. Send him a like. Check out his videos. He's got some amazing videos. I reposted some of them, and he's good with the editing. So, but hey, Cleveland Street, you still got some Christmas decorations here. 27 degrees Fahrenheit. -3 Celsius, at least that's what I'm saying. Might not be totally accurate. University of Illinois, hey, Fighting Illini, that's great. Yeah, I've taken the Amtrak through Champaign. See a bunch of people get off and on the train there. It's a nice option. Hey, so here's this beautiful, look at that Italianate, and look at this, they still got the snowflakes. Yeah, you got the, look, it's roses. No, it's carnations or roses, whatever that is, like silk roses. Look, they got a arch of roses. Very nice. See, Better Homes and Gardens, you get ideas. This springtime, we'll walk by North Avenue Beach, and they'll be setting up all those engagement flowered, you know, arches and photo op things and fireworks, and we always, there's like roses sticking in the sand. Yeah, Flora, how you doing there? Drew Troy Comics, you'll be here in late March. Deep Dish, are you coming to C2E2? Is they still doing C2E2 at, am I saying it right? The Comic-Con, or the anime thing, where everybody dresses up. I went to it last year. It was pretty fun. I think Alexander Chicago's doing the auto show. I know J City Walking Girl did the auto show last year. She'll probably do it again this year. I don't know if I'm going to do it, if Alexander's going to do it. He knows cars much better than me because I don't drive a car. I could go film it and do commentary and how you do and all that, but I haven't decided if I'm going to go to the auto show or not. Would you watch if I go to the auto show? Does anybody want to see? It's $20 to get. Not that I'm asking $20, but I can pay $20. No, that's actually a cheap ticket. It's much cheaper than C2E2, but maybe I'll go like Friday night or something when it opens. Maybe Friday night's the VIP. I don't know, but if you like, look, you know, we went. Grim Evil and I went to the Lowrider Festival at Navy Pier. That was interesting. I did enjoy that, but that was more artwork and style You know, I guess this is more commercial stuff. You didn't even go in Detroit there? Yeah, Detroit's got a huge auto show. Hey, you got more snow in New Jersey? Yeah, New Jersey, you guys got more snow on the East Coast. Even Cincinnati got more snow than Chicago. We just didn't get much, you know. The VIP is that Thursday? Okay, good. I'll look into it. So, we'll see what I feel like. You know, at least it's indoors. You know, there's a coat check. It's something to see. They'd have like a track where the people drive the car. They have like robotics. There's all like, I wonder if they still, it was weird. I felt creeped out. Like I haven't gone to it since like 2018. I think it's the last time I went to it. You know, they still pay the women to like wave at you with like, you know, the tight dresses and stuff, which is, you know, as a heterosexual male that, you know, does like fast cars, you know, I do appreciate that, but I still felt like a creepy old man. You know, here I am, like, I was like photographer. I was like zooming in there, like, what am I doing? You know, it's like those grown men that show up to Japanese girl bands there and they're dancing around. I saw that in Japan. It was weird. It was like, I was like, what's going on? Because the entire audience was like middle-aged men, and the entire all the groups were like teenage girls. It was weird. Japan's got some interesting stuff, I know. Anybody seen the Epstein files? I know. Here's we're on Cleveland Street, Lincoln, and Dickens, the 6-way intersection here. We're by Danucci's, and you know where we're at, the Gemini. We always walk through here. We're getting, hey, somebody left a banana. Hey, you missing a banana? There's your, that's a piece of artwork right there. You can hang that on the wall with a piece of duct tape and call it art. Andy Warhol. It's just like the Velvet Underground. They put a banana on their album. That's plagiarism. How could you plagiarize Andy Warhol? He stole from everybody else. He stole from Basquiat even. He was shameless. Hey, school spirits. Smells like school spirits. Here's the gnome hall. I always want to open this up and the little gnome jumps out and says, shut the door. All the books are falling out of the gnome hall. Better shut the door. Epstein's Deli in the Bronx. Hey, tell him Benny Blanco from the Bronx sent you. What's your name? Benny Blanco from the Bronx. Okay. Here's Lincoln Street, Lincoln Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Is my screen fogged up? It looks like it's fogged up. Those LED lights are brutal. It's just, I can never get the camera dried off. There, we're going with that. Shut the door, you're letting the heat out. Oh, we'll do some Al Pacino quotes. Carlito's Way. How can Al Pacino, he could play, let's see, he could play a Cuban, he could play a Puerto Rican, he could play an Italian, because he is Italian. He's got great range. Yeah, the age of consent's changed, hopefully for the better. Here, let's see. It's clear. Thanks, Grandma's Corner. Thanks for the feedback. Good. So here's the beautiful housing on Cleveland Street. Look at these brick. Look at the windows. I mean, the scale of these buildings, and they're just well built. And I'm not trying to talk up one side of the city. There's well built buildings like this. I gush over the buildings in Kenwood and Hyde Park and Adams Street on the west side over by Eli Whitney School just as much. You got some beautiful streets over there. This is just on my way home. Yeah, look at that. Look at the gas light. Look at that window. Yeah, 541. Look at that stained glass. This one up here, you got this porch, and then it's this big, large, multi-story window. So there's a nice stained glass. That's the original fixtures. These are 1890s, 1888 to 1892. I don't know when this was. This is like, look at them. Sometimes they got the light on there, and you can see that window from across the street. It's just spectacular. They added this wall. See, they got these little tiles in there. That's what you do. So here's Webster Street, Webster in Cleveland, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Hey, there's a taxi. There's a taxi you can actually hail. What are you doing, Pinky? This is a nice house. Look at that porch. It's well proportioned here. They got a porch there and they got a porch there. Yeah, the insides are nice too. Some of them you can look them up if they're listed in real estate, and they'll show you interiors, what the fixtures look like on the inside. You know, it depends on if they're on the market or not. See, there's some modernist buildings interspersed with the historic infill. Hey, Travell, yeah, sometimes I get caught up in stuff. I miss a lot of comments, but thanks for understanding. I just ramble on. It's like a stream of consciousness narration. If it's annoying, you can put it on mute and just put a stereo on and just check out the visuals. Just the steady human scale rhythm of walking down a street. It's like a cat. They had a cable station for dogs, and I was like, how's this gonna work? And I don't know if it still exists. And it was like this. It was like a dog's, you know, ground view perspective, and it would sniff stuff. It would do this, and that's what the TV was. And dogs would just sit there and watch it, you know. And then they go show a milk bone commercial. Like the dog's gonna buy a milk bone. How can he sell commercials to a dog channel? Is your human mistreating you? Call this hotline. Ruff, ruff, ruff. You deserve doggy rights. The dog's like, yeah. I should be able to walk the human. That's awesome. It's like Animal Farm. Some animals are more equal than others. Yeah. George Orwell's dystopian book. Sure, you were assigned it in school. I got to read a stupid book about pigs and Napoleon. What's this Napoleon pig? What are you doing? So here, Belden, Cleveland Street. Let's wrap this up. So hey, thanks for tuning in. We'll do this tomorrow. We'll head back downtown. I got to go back in the office tomorrow. And so, hey, we'll see what's happening. I don't know if there's a chance of snow or not. It looked like it was snowing a little bit, but it was just like mist. It was like a mist snow. It looked like a fog. That was after lunch. Yeah, it's Chicago. So if you just tuned in to Chicago, Cleveland Street, and Belden here, I'm going to wrap this up. So if you like this and you want to watch more, please hit the subscribe for free there on YouTube, and you can watch me tomorrow, noon and night. Pick your time slot. Usually weekdays, 3 times a day, sometimes only 2. But yeah, thanks for keeping me company on the walk home from work here. We'll see you tomorrow, and check out the reruns, TikTok, YouTube, and we'll eventually get some stuff on Substack. Because I want to write some stuff. Here's yeah, Cleveland Street, the Twin Sisters, and Yeah, have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks everybody. Thanks to the mods. Thanks Grandma's Corner there. One Gold Nubian. May, thanks for tuning in. Jessica, Clay, Robert, yeah, Barbara. Thanks everybody. Jessica, Cadeau, Grim Evil, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Scott James. And I missed Ron Snowing. Tom Butt, yeah, Davo. Yeah, thanks everybody. If I missed you, Nostradamus. Yeah, Rob, Sabrina Suburban Garden. Subi, okay, shady. Okay, I know I'm missing people. I'm going to sign off. Here's the Twin Sisters. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll see you later, Andy and Jared. We'll see you later.